What's up, everyone? Welcome to my Dead Space Remake review.
Ishimura is not a job you turn down.
Now, I did get done playing this game recently, so you can watch that gameplay on the channel if you would like. Also, in the past year or so, I did, for the first time, play the original 2008 version of Dead Space. Never played this game before. I've never played Dead Space 2 or 3. For this review, and this isn't a comparison video, this is a review for the remake, I am gonna have to make some correlations between the remake and the original Dead Space. I think that's fair. So first thing we're going to start off with is graphics and visuals. So when I played the original, I did think that the graphics did hold up fairly well. Now that I've played the remake, I believe that the graphics and visuals are, in my opinion, perfect. I love the way Isaac looks, the way they made his armor, just the visuals of the weapons and how they fire. The UI looks a little bit better. It's basically the same, but it does look a little bit better. Isaac himself feels more futuristic because this game came out in 2023 versus 2008. Because of the new visual style, I'm gonna have to give graphics and visuals a 10 out of 10. I think they absolutely nailed it. The next thing we're gonna talk about real quick is gameplay and mechanics. So the mechanics of the game are pretty much the same. There's some subtle differences, like with the nodes, how you upgrade your weapons and your armor. I do think it's more efficient the way that they did the node system in this game. And the gameplay is virtually the exact same. Go around, go through the story, go through the corridors, shoot necromorphs. There's not really much to be said about the gameplay. Things do feel smoother. Like the reloading is much better. You can actually reload as you're walking. You don't have to stop. The little quest marker that you can use actually feels fluid and it feels really good. Also, you can now fly in this game. There's not a whole lot of sections, which I am fine with, because when I was trying to first fly through the different areas, it's very disorienting for me, the way the camera moves. It's not a bad thing. It's just, for me, it's a little disorienting, but being able to fly really makes this feel like a futuristic game. Because the mechanics and the gameplay were so good in the original, and the slight tweaks that they did make for this game, I think they absolutely nailed it. I'm gonna give gameplay and mechanics a 10. Now we're going to talk about the story. So the story is virtually identical. They did streamline the story so it's not cut up into chapters anymore. There are still chapters, but it's a fluid transition between them, and there's just a little pop-up. Also, you do get some side quests that kind of flush out the world and the story a little more. Because they did expand on the story a little bit, I think it just made it that much better. And because they made it more of a fluid gameplay style, instead of starting and stopping, you're done with chapter 1, you're moving on to chapter 2, and they just kind of had a quick little pop-up. I'm gonna have to rate the story a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love the story in this game. Next, we're gonna move on to sound and music. Now, someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I do believe that the sound and music are the same, but they might have just updated them with technology and editing and made it so it just sounds a little bit crisper for all the sounds, the gunplay, the eerie music, the jump scares. The sound and music for the original wasn't bad at all. I think it held up very well when I played it just like a year ago. But I do think it sounds slightly better, so I'm gonna have to give sound and music a 10 out of 10. Next, we're gonna talk about performance. Now, I personally did not have any issues whatsoever with performance. I didn't have any stutters. I didn't have any graphic things. I didn't have any music cutting in and out. I didn't have any game crashes. So for me, that's a perfect 10 out of 10 for performance. Next is replayability. Now, there is additional stuff that you get if you do a new game plus. You get level 6 armor. You obviously get, nodes and credits that you can use. Downside to this for me is that this is a linear story. Nothing is really going to change with the story if you play New Game Plus. Now, that's not saying that you can't or you shouldn't, or I will never play New Game Plus. But when you just get done playing the game, there's really not much point in playing it immediately right after, just because it's such a linear story. Now, because of that, I'm going to have to give replayability a 6 out of 10. Next, we're going to talk about the atmosphere. Now, for me, the atmosphere is how well does the game make you feel like you're in that environment, and does it feel natural and does it feel executed? So in this game, you go through dark hallways. Now, one of the complaints I had for the original game was it started off very dark, and then at some points it felt like it got too bright too quickly. It felt very, I don't know of another way to explain this, video game like for whatever reason they just made the game brighter and it didn't feel natural, didn't feel right. Now, the way that they did the lighting and the atmosphere in this game is it's all fairly dark, but there are some sections of the game that are brighter, and the way they did the lighting, it feels like it's natural. It feels like there are still shadows in the corner. There might be something lurking in the shadow that might pop up. It doesn't feel too artificial. I think they absolutely nailed the atmosphere for the ship, and that's what you play most of the game on, is the ship. So I'm gonna have to rate atmosphere a perfect 10 out of 10. They absolutely nailed it. Next section is innovation. So now, when we talk about innovation when it comes to this game, it's basically the UI and the HUD. And there's not really a HUD in this game. There is a UI, but I don't think it's anything overly special. It does feel like you are in a futuristic suit of armor or rig or engineering, whatever you want to call it. But you pull up the HUD and it's like a graphical overlay. That's cool. That's not really the innovative part. Innovative part is how you don't have a HUD. You've got a little marker on the side of your gun that tells you how much ammo you have. You've got your stasis that has a little half circle that tells you how full it is, and you've got your life, the rig on your back with the life sections. That's the HUD. It's very clean. It makes you feel very immersed in the game, and I am very surprised that this was the thing back in 2008. And I don't play a lot of horror games, and I've never seen, and I may be wrong because I don't play games as much as some other people, but I don't remember a game that virtually has zero HUD and everything is placed on the character. I can't believe that other games have not, other futuristic or horror games that have something similar to this, like a suit like this. I can't believe that they have not incorporated something like this. I mean, they might get compared to, oh, you just stole that from Dead Space. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think more games, especially horror games, should incorporate some sort of futuristic elements into the suit itself, so that way you don't have a HUD. I really like that sort of innovation that this game had. I'm going to give the innovation an 8 out of 10, but I do think that more games need to take this from Dead Space. Next, we're going to talk about value. So the game came out 2 years ago in 2023 for, I believe it was $60, as most games are. Here's the thing about this game. You can, at least now, and I don't know if you could back then when it first came out, but you can get EA Play For a month, it's $6 and you get access to this game. This game doesn't take very long. I believe I completed it in about 18 hours. I believe I did the original somewhere around like 24. You can play this game over the weekend if you put in enough time. If you don't have that kind of time, you can definitely put in like an hour throughout the week and then a few hours on the weekend. You can easily get this game completed and not miss anything. Actually do the story at your own pace, do the side missions, explore all of what this game has to offer. You can easily do that in a month. So it kind of depends on where you are, if you want to own the game or if you just kind of want to play it. Personally, I just wanted to play it. I didn't really feel like I needed to own it. So the value that I'm going to give for this game, for me, is a 9 out of 10. Now let's talk about the final thoughts I have for this game and the final score. First, let's just do the final score and get that out of the way. For me, after all the ratings I gave it, the final score is a 9.2. I think that is a completely fair score for this game. That is a very high score. As you may find out as you watch different reviews of mine, there is no such thing as a 10 out of 10 game. There is no such thing as a perfect game. 9.2 is very high, and I stand by that 9.2. I thoroughly enjoyed this game, even after playing the 2008 version about a year ago. I pretty much knew what was going to happen in the story, but the graphics and the visuals, the way they did the story, the sound and music, the atmosphere, the way that they upgraded the graphics, it was absolutely beautiful. I loved every second playing this game, even though I knew what was going to happen. Anyway, those are my final thoughts. I absolutely loved this game. I'm not in a hurry to play New Game Plus. I may get EA Play again at some point and play the remake again for New Game Plus. I'm sure my save will stay on my computer, so I'll be able to do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I tried to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. If you are interested, you can watch the gameplay on my channel. All right, everyone, take it easy. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in Dead Space 2. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to like. I'd also appreciate a subscribe. That'd mean a lot to me. Also, don't forget to hit the bell so you stay notified the next time I drop a video. YouTube also recommends this video right here for you to watch. Go ahead and go check that out.